Om Shanti
Om
Om
Shanti. So, Om
Shanti.
Shanti. And good
and
evening.
welcome to each and everyone.
Thank you.
Today, as we are exploring a profound topic, the highest form of self-respect. True self-respect is not just confidence, but a deep awareness of our divine identity and inner dignity. It is an honor to introduce Sister Rota, who is very sweet and special to all of us from Aruba, a soul who embody the principle with 30 years in Ghana. She has made her relationship with Baba, who is no other than God, her first priority, and it is dedicating to helping others to do the same. Sister Rota is a teacher of the Raj Yoga and a positive thinking, and she also served as a general nurse, diabetes educator, and a nurse teacher, caring for both body and soul. As a mother of 2 and grandmother of 6, she valued harmony in both lokic, which is the worldly, and the alokic, which is the spiritual relationship. With a heart devoted to serve humanity and nature, she is a true example of self-respect in action. So let us all welcome Sister Rota from Aruba. Warm welcome to you. Over to you, Sister Rota. Om Shanti.
Om
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Welcome.
Om
Welcome,
Shanti, Sister.
welcome.
Om Shanti to all my sweet
Good.
brothers and sisters. Yes, of course, first of all, I want to thank our Supreme Father and also life for giving this opportunity to be with you and to share with you. And as we said, true self-respect is the highest form of self-respect. But to reach that point, we need a key. It is a very subtle key. It is very invisible. And it is also given by one we cannot see. So this evening, we want to explore together to see where our true self-respect is coming from. And in the world outside, when we speak about respect or self-respect, it is more connected with the things we do, our role, our position, our religion, our gender, the amount of money that we have, the appearance, everything that is from outside. From that we take respect and think it is our self-respect. But that respect, when we look at it, and I was thinking a little bit about my own life before I came to the knowledge. Yes, there was respect, but there was also uncertainty and fear, because something that is based on what we take from outside means it is perishable. Any moment it can finish. If, for instance, we have a great job and tomorrow we get the news that, sorry, we cannot have you anymore. Yes, we have to leave the company. How will we feel? Hmm? It will give a lot of upheaval within ourselves. So what we have to understand that true self-respect, in fact, is not connected with what we do, but it is connected with what we are. And to know what we are, who we are, just what is already said, we need a key, tiny little key, very special key. Mm. And once we have this key in our hand, it opens a door to truth. And behind that door, when we enter that room of truth, our whole world, the way we look at ourselves, the way we look at others, the way we look at life start to change. And if I, for instance, examine myself before and now, it's a great difference. Sister Rota has done a lot of things in her life, especially in the health field. And it was giving me, yes, a lot of pleasure, but also a lot of stress. And comparing with my life now, I can see that there is such a big difference in taking respect, self-respect from what we do, or taking or having self-respect of what we are. Can you feel a little bit where we are going to? If respect is taken from outside, we are in the risky situation of comparison, competition, jealousy, uncertainty. All those things start to appear in our life. But once we have that key, and that key is a key given by one who is also so subtle and invisible. And that one is the highest Father, the Supreme Soul. And he gives us this key and makes us aware, because the key creates awareness. Once we use that key, we start to understand that we are not those perishable beings. We are not those perishable roles. We are not the gender, the culture, the religion, the outfit. None of that is what we are. And this key is so powerful. And that takes us away from, all the uncertainty, the stress, the competition, the comparison, and brings us in an experience of calmness, certainty, being content and satisfied within yourself. I'm reading a quote when you are content to be simply yourself and not compare or compete, everyone will respect you. Mhm. Because respect taken from outside, we will start to demand respect. We will, want people to respect us. I have seen something very strange, and it is connected with respect from culture. That when you are a boss in a shop, it's very strange. When you come inside the shop, you don't greet the people, you don't say good morning. And I was really, wondering, I said, oh, is that possible? So I spoke with the person who owns that shop. And I said, I have observed something. You don't greet your people. And she said, yes, but I appreciate them. I said, okay, fine. But how would it feel when in the morning the boss comes inside and you don't even say hello to them? But then the person said, it is the culture. I said, oh. But this is the big difference between living from within spirituality, that everyone is equal, different, and unique in their expression, but we are equal. We all belong to one another as one big world family. And when we have this awareness by using the key, and that key is called soul consciousness, then so much start to change in our life. We can respect others because we know that what is within myself, within my own true self, and that is the soul, are all qualities given by the Father, the Supreme Soul. And because we are all His children, it means that everyone has those qualities. The only difference is that we express the qualities in our own unique way. Having this awareness, we start to see the beauty in diversity and we enjoy it. And we start to take qualities from one another because we are allowed to do that, because it's given by the Father. So if I see one of my spiritual brothers or sisters having a certain quality, it means I can also imbibe it in myself. There is a soul here in Aruba. He he's, he's very, a little strange. And at a certain moment, he's, walking around a lot. And one time I saw that he was walking with a walker because something was with his legs or whatever. But after a while, I saw him walking without the walker. Then I said, in my relationship with God, I tell God everything. He's my friend. So I said, see that soul? I can learn from him. He is so courageous because he likes to socialize, right? He likes to be in the shops. He likes to be on the street. So he made that effort, right, to walk without the walker. That means he had a lot of courage and a lot of determination. So I said, I'm not sure if I would be able to do the same, but I was looking at him and taking those qualities from him and appreciating him. That is what happens when we have self respect, and then automatically we have respect for others. So instead of comparing, competition, jealousy, or whatever it may be, we start to appreciate one another. And I think that is the greatest challenge in relationships, to reach that point where I myself can start to respect myself from a spiritual point of view. Because we can only have real, true self respect when we are aware that we are spiritual beings, children of that Supreme Father. That is the only way that we can really feel inside of ourselves our inner beauty. And the nice thing is that the expression, the form in which we express all those qualities is unique. Hmm? We have a lot of qualities within. For instance, cooperation, freedom, inner happiness, humility, honesty, love, peace, respect, responsibility, simplicity, tolerance, and unity. Those core values, when we use them, that is the expression of our true self respect. And that brings inner happiness and appreciation for each and every one. And not only for human beings, but for nature. We forget nature. We have, in fact, I remember our daddy Junkie, who was our administrative head. One time I was reading a class of her where she explains why nature has reached this condition at this moment in time. We have used, we have been taking constantly so many years from nature without appreciation. Sometimes, yes, we appreciate nature, but that is more for our own pleasure. A nice sunset, a nice breeze, a nice ocean. I was also doing it. But now I appreciate nature. Appreciation is such a high quality that it brings back the strength in nature. So when we appreciate, we have gratitude and respect for nature, that energy restores the strength in nature. And this is one of the things that we can do in our highest form self respect. Why? Because in that form, we don't take anymore. We become bestowers. Because our true nature is one that is the same as the Father. And the Father is a bestower. So we become master bestowers. And when we start to, I do it every day in my meditation, I give nature appreciation and gratitude. And through this lecture, in preparing, I also learn to give respect to Mother Nature. So it is so beautiful when we together we can help to restore Mother Nature, because all the calamities that we see at the moment is a result from the way we are going along with Mother Nature. Our greed and consumption, taking more than we need. If, for instance, there is simplicity in our life, you will not take more than you need. And it's a very simple checking, right? What is it that I'm taking? Why do I take more than I need? Because the moment I take more than I need, then another person has less. If, for instance, Sister Rota goes for shopping and I have to buy a certain item, and I see that there are two last one on the rack, I will only take one, not the two, one, because I think, the person who comes after me will also have that item. But if I take both, then the other person will not have it. So all these little things, in our life creates that inner atmosphere, inner attitude of self-respect. And that results in, such a high quality of happiness that is not connected with nothing from the outside world. Because even if we don't have something, still we can be in this higher state of being. Mhm. And when together we start to live in this way, what will happen is that we will restore this world. We will collectively bring the world in a state where it can host us again. Because now, at this moment in time, the world, Mother Nature, she cannot host us any longer because we have degraded her so much. So we have a great responsibility to restore Mother Nature in her power, in her strength, because one time I remember there was a brother, he came to Suriname, was a brother from Madiban, and he said something that has always stayed with me. He said, there are two givers, and that is God and nature. And we human beings are takers. That thing has done something with me. God and nature are givers, and we are takers. But in our true self-respect, we are not the ones who take, but we are the ones who donate whatever the Father gives us in the form of qualities, specialities, skills, everything we share with others. And that is what creates that high form of self-respect, but also a lot of happiness. So in this way, self-respect and humility are connected with one another because we also realize that whatever I have as an individual in my life to live my life from a highest potential and from a highest way of expressing myself, it is not something that I can create within myself. It is a gift from God. And I have to be I have to take care very well for that gift. So in that way, automatically, humility is very strong in the soul. I've always looked at we have examples in our life. And one of my examples in this spiritual journey is Dani Sa. She's very silent and very humble. I remember when I saw her for the first time, when I went to our headquarters in India, I saw her from the back. I was with Sister Rita from Curacao, And Sister Rita said, see, Sister Rota, that is Daddy Bosar. I saw her from the back. But that 1 second was enough for me to pick up those two qualities, her silence and her humility. And how is that possible? Because that soul lives from, her highest self-respect. And that is what we are vibrating automatically. I was thinking about, for instance, why people are trusted and some people are not trusted. It's very, it's a very subtle thing. Why do I give someone just the keys without thinking, and another person I will still hesitate? It is really our vibrations. I don't know the soul. I haven't met her before, that it is sad, but still I could pick up those vibrations. So, in fact, the subtle communication between us as souls, mhm, in a human form, expressing ourselves, is based on vibrations, and they are connected with our thinking, but not only with our thinking, but our awareness. Because if I have the thought that I'm the boss of this company or of that hospital or whatever, how I will look at those who are just the workers. Um, I remember when I was working in the hospital, I had always one thought. I said, we are like a chain. If one part of the chain is not there, that whole system will fall apart. Yes, if those who are cleaning are not there, then how the surgeon will do his job in the best way. So everyone is needed, everyone is valuable. But even though I had those thoughts at that time, still I didn't have my real self-respect. So it is only when we have that key received from the Supreme Father that I can open the door within myself and see truth, a very still part within ourselves where all those qualities are qualities that are eternal, qualities that can never ever leave us. And that is why it makes self-respect makes you very secure, high form of self-esteem. But the moment we forget, because it is all a matter of forgetting, nothing else, and we can remember again who we are, then our self-respect becomes, natural, and there is no uncertainty anymore. Even if we don't know something, it doesn't matter. We can just say, you know, I'm not skilled in this. I don't know how to do it. Can you help me with it? But if we have that wrong self-respect, we will hide the things that we can't do or that we don't have any knowledge about it. And those things, creates a very insecure personality and very touch me not personality also. Because even a small thing can bring us out of balance. But this spiritual high self-respect is such that it makes you secure, it makes you open for learning. I always have a lot of fun, especially with the IT things. I my age is such that I didn't even know in my childhood what's a computer. Can you imagine? So when I have to learn to type on the laptop or the computer, it was crying for me in the beginning. But over the years, I could see how, because I'm open for learning, every time someone will appear and tell me, Sister Rota, this is what you have to do. I said, oh, okay, I will try it. And then I go and try it again and again, and it works. But another joke is also that I will tell God, I said, listen, you have to help me with this thing. And then I go around, do something, come back. And then, because see, when we are connected, it's a very subtle thing. When we are connected, our intellect is connected with the highest Father. He works in a very subtle way on your intellect. So my logical part becomes active. And then I go back and I say, oh, now I understand what I have to do. This is my way of learning. But if we are in that limited self-respect, perhaps we are afraid. If we are in a certain position to tell someone that I don't have any knowledge about it, can you teach me? We will not do that. We will hide it. And this is one of the things that I feel in that highest form of self-respect is a lot of freedom. A lot of freedom. When we say you are as free as a bird, that is really when we have that true highest form of self-respect, we are as free as birds. Because your mind and intellect are trained to be within. Yes, and not outside, in the outside world that constantly is moving and changing, etc., etc. And another awareness is also that when we are aware that we are soul spiritual beings, then the next thing is that we also come to know that we are eternally God's children. And for me, myself, that is really my highest feeling of self-respect, to be God's child. Even on the path of devotion, it has always been my thought, I'm God's child and God will take care of me. And I was a very carefree soul. God will take care of me. But when I came in this knowledge, God taught me a very, very big lesson. And that was, child, if you really want to be that carefree soul, you have to follow my directions. And that is something very important. So in this whole, you know, lecture, I can only say, use the key. I'm not a long speaker, right? So you will have time to ask questions. Use the key, open the door, look at all the beautiful qualities and start to use them in your thoughts, in your words, in your actions, and it will have its impact on your attitude and your impressions that we call sanskars. And that will create your character. And all of us, because we are God's children, we have a beautiful character. But because we forget, what happens? The door, it is a very subtle thing to know. The moment we start to identify ourselves with our role, the body, the culture, the religion, the money, the appearance, whatever is on the outside and we start to identify ourselves with that, you know what happens? The door automatically closes. You don't need a key for that. You know those doors, right? We have such a door in the center. Yeah? Only when we have to open it, it is a fire door, we need the key. Then we can come inside. But the moment I leave the center, I just have to push the door and it locks automatically. This is what happens with us on our journey. We forget. And the moment we forget and start to identify ourselves with everything that is there outside, what is not the reality, because it can change any moment, we can lose it anytime. Yes, and that gives the fear inside, the insecurity comes from that part. The moment we do it, the door closes. And if we don't have anyone to give us the key, because only God can give you that key. No human soul can give you that key. He can use us, yes, he can use us to give other children the key that he can do, but in reality, he alone can give that key. And this is why we start searching, and creating the wrong self self-respect. And then all the problems that we can see in the world today is based on this wrong self-respect. Mhm. So how beautiful it is when we realize how fortunate we are to receive such a gift, such a key that can open the door again. And then automatically, if that door is open, we will start to remember. Because when we are connected, the key makes it possible to open the door, but it is also makes it possible that we can connect our mind, our intellect, our heart with the Supreme Father. Yes. And when that happens, our lives start to change so much. We start to see reality. Even at this time, especially at this time, where there is so much chaos in the world, where there is so much, it looks like unrighteousness that, people are doing so much things towards one another. But when we have this key and we also have this knowledge, then we start to understand life as it is in reality. That we have reached a point in life where collectively we have to make a shift. If we don't make this shift collectively, what will happen with the world? We cannot continue in this way. It's not possible. We have to do something. And I don't know if there are souls here of public, but the best that gift that you can give yourself is to make a call, a phone with God, that listen, God, I'm ready to receive the key. Yeah. Can you send the key for me? And you will see, you will find the way to receive the key. Hmm. I remember, those from Guyana who knows our Mataji, who was really our Mataji. She was telling her story that it was, I think, Shivratri, and she told God that today you have to show me the way where I can, you know, change my life, do something with my life. Today you have to tell me. And she said it was like a miracle. She didn't know the way to go to the center, but in one or another way, she found the way to the center, and she never left the center. Everyone knows that story. So when we are ready, God is also ready because he's always ready to give the key. But if our ears, like my ears, for instance, I was deaf, really deaf. Sister Rita from Curacao, we were friends for years, like we were living like sisters, right? And she was already 2 years in the knowledge. And many times we will go to aerobic, we will go for a walk, and she will tell me things. Later, she told me, you know how many times I told you things, but I was not hearing anything. I was totally deaf. Can you imagine? Totally deaf. Mhm. So God is there to give the key, but I have to make myself ready. And don't underestimate time at this moment. Time is very short. I just came from Madhuban, and this was constantly what the seniors were telling us. Time is very short. So, what else can you do than to take that gift? Yeah, open your hands. Don't do like this, but just like this. Because you have to receive it. You cannot take it. You have to receive it, right? And God is ready to give it to you. And then you can start life with the highest form of self-respect, and that is, I, the soul, I'm eternally God's child. I'm eternally God's helper, especially at this time. To transform the world is not a small thing. And God is so humble that He is telling us that, children, I can't do it alone. Yes, God is not omnipresent. God has His abode where you reside, and that is in the soul world, a dimension far from this physical world, right? It is there where God resides. But He has to come here using a physical body to give us this knowledge. Yes, and this knowledge is given through his medium, that is the one who is called Prajapita Brahma, Father of humanity. Yeah, that is his instrument through which God can speak and give us those key, make us aware, and change our life. But when it comes to transform this whole world, to reach all the souls, he needs his children, and we can make a choice and say, I also want to be part. Yes, to help God is the highest job with the highest salary. Yeah? A salary that is, so rich in the form of first self-respect, of course, with that pure happiness, that contentment, that satisfaction, you know, being able to have harmony in relationships. For me, that is very, very important to have harmony in relationship. When I think about the future, because we are heading to the future, yeah, because of this study that God is giving us, that is called Raj Yoga, He makes it possible that our character can change again in such a way that we can reach our highest potential, and that highest potential is called our deity form. And that is what we express in the time that we call paradise. We call it golden age, and we call it the future world. And when I think about that world, for me, one quality is very outstanding. and that is harmony. Harmony with the self, harmony with others, and harmony with nature. That is what I can feel deeply within myself. But we have to create it again. It is not that God creates a new world for us. He recreates the world internally, yes, so that we can imbibe all the qualities, reach that point of, you know, realization of our highest potential. Because all of us have those qualities, but it takes effort to, to reactivate it. That is, in fact, that is what God is doing. He activates that what is there in the soul eternally, but what we have forgotten. Because there is nothing else what happens. We forget. And God reminds us that children, you are not the body, you are not the role, you are not the gender, you are not the religion, but you are a spiritual being, a tiny point of light in the middle of the forehead. And we use the body to express ourselves, and we use the sense organs to experience what is going outside in the world. Mhm. And then our mind, when we are in that, we call it body consciousness, so we are disconnected from the truth, our mind creates only thoughts about the outside world. We see something, there our mind goes. We hear something, our mind goes. We smell something, and that goes whole day. Whole day, it makes us so tired. But in soul consciousness, we redirect the mind within, so that although we see everything, we hear everything, but our attention is not there anymore. Of course, sometimes we need, if we hear something that is not right, we have to go and check. Or we smell something that is not right, we have to go and check. Mhm. But we use the sense organs in a different way. They are under our control, but in body consciousness, they are our master. And all of that takes us away from our true self-respect. Mhm. So I don't know if I have to stop here because I'm not such a very, very long speaker. I love the essence of things. Mhm. But I think that if we really realize that how beautiful it is to receive such a high opportunity to help our Supreme Father to transform this world, it means that I have to start with myself, because the slogan in our spiritual organization is self-transformation leads to world transformation. Every time when we transform something in ourselves, it has impact on all souls and also on nature, matter every day, every moment. So it takes a lot of attention, yeah, to to work on ourselves. And sometimes we will have moments that we will be confronted with the old habits that we have accumulated over time based on using devices. Yes, the anger, the jealousy, the the impure desires, the ego, all of that has shaped our character in such a way that we ourselves lose respect for ourselves. That is the worst thing that can happen. We are not anymore in that harmonious relationship with ourselves because we go against our true nature. Once we go against our true nature, that is where we lose our self-respect. And we have done it for many births. So those impressions are very deep. And knowledge alone will not help us to reach that deep transformation. We need that connection. It is a combined thing. This knowledge and being connected with the highest fountain. There we can get the power to transform those old habits, this old character. And then what happens is that we can experience, even in this time of so much chaos, we can experience that inner calm, we can experience that inner happiness. And I will tell you, when I came into this knowledge, I was afraid to be happy. Can you imagine? I was afraid to be happy. Why? Because happiness was temporary. Every moment it could slip through your fingers and gone, right? So when I came in this knowledge, I was just afraid to be happy. But now, after 30 years, I realize that my inner happiness, this is what God is telling us. Children, your inner happiness that is connected with truth within yourself takes away the sorrow of souls in the world. I said, oh, that is great. So now I'm not afraid anymore to be happy. Yes, because it is such a, I have seen it with a sister in Madhuban. She is there by the department to register us. And every time I was looking at her, I said, wow, because I know her over the years, right? And I have seen the change in her. Yeah, she was more serious in a few years ago. But this time, her happiness was so natural and it was really touching my heart. And then I realized that yes, it is really our inner spiritual happiness that takes away the sorrow of the world. So that is also a very big step to, to make because everything around us is full of sorrow, right? Everything around us is full of sorrow. And now you are happy. That was a combination I could not make before. How is it that I can be happy? I have a house and there are others who don't have. It was so terrible with me. I remember one day it was raining. I was not in this knowledge yet, but it was raining so hard. And I knew the patients that I have because I was working in the field. And one of them, she has hardly a roof on her head. And I was lying in my bed crying. Now my children are asking me, Mommy, why are you crying? I said, I'm thinking about that lady who has no roof on her head. That was my condition before. Very, very sensitive for the sorrow of others. But God has really worked on me and took away that sensitivity. It was very uncomfortable, but I understood. I said, well, I'll do the operation, then I will see what will happen. And it was a big operation. But today, I say thank you that you have done that operation on me because I can face the things of the world and I can, keep my inner happiness based on that self-respect. So I can only share with you, share this gift that God has given to me with you, be his child and be his helper. Yeah, that is the best thing you can ever do in your life. Om Shanti.
Om
Om
Shanti.
Shanti.
Wonderful. And so much to be learned, or so much I have gained from your learning, because I'm full aware and very well open for your learning lesson, which inspired me a lot tonight. And I guess it inspired many others. So this few minutes, we can ask Sister Rota any question, or if there's something that inspired you and want to share, please feel free to do so. 7:15, we'll have a meditation until 7:25. So please be free to open up and share.
Questions are also helpful, no? Because your question can be a question of many others, and it can help others to get clarity. But also for us who have to answer the question is also a learning moment.
Om
Absolutely.
Shanti, Sister Rota. Om Shanti to the whole family. Thank you for the in depth knowledge from Baba. One short question. Can you explain to us the relationship between self respect and humility? Thank you, Sister. Om
Yes,
Shanti.
when we when we have that true self-respect, then because we realize that all that is giving us that highest form of self-respect, that it is not something that we create in ourselves, but that it is a gift from God that we can use in our life. That creates the humility. And humility is a quality that is often misunderstood by many people and think that, oh, it is bowing down. No. Humility is, the quality that makes me realize the greatness within myself, but also from whom I receive that greatness. And that makes me very humble, although that, especially when we have all this knowledge, it gives us a lot of authority, pure authority, but it is always combined with humility. And that keeps us in that self-respect. Otherwise, arrogance will creep in and it will spoil. Arrogance is like, a drop of very powerful poison in a pot of milk. That is how arrogance works. And we have to be so careful with that thing that is called ego, because we have to protect ourselves. And humility is the quality that protects us to keep ourselves in that high self-respect.
Thank you. The others can please feel free to do share or ask question.
Our family doesn't have the habit not to ask questions. We have to learn that part. We have to open ourselves, to ask questions, to feel free. And that is also a form of self-respect, because a question can never, ever be wrong. An answer can be wrong, but not a question. But I don't know what happens with our Caribbean family, but we are not, we don't have the habit to ask questions. Hmm? But it is very important to do it. Here in Aruba, we are very free. We ask questions, we talk with one another, inspire one another. And Brother Stefano is from Aruba.
Shanti, I would like to ask a question. Could you explain to me a little bit of how do you draw strength from spirituality during, let's say, a challenging time of your life?
let me see if I understood your question well. How can you repeat it once again?
How do you draw strength from your spirituality, knowing that you're going through a challenging time in life?
Very beautiful question. You know, that is where knowledge comes in. Knowledge teaches us, God's knowledge teaches us about time, that this is the most challenging time in the world, but at the same time, it is the most beautiful time. Why? Because it is the time in which we can settle all our accounts, we can become liberated from all the bondages, from all the negativity. And challenges are, in fact, we have to see them as gifts. Any challenge in your life is an opportunity to see how far you have been growing. If there is no challenge in your life, that means you are stagnant. But if there are challenges and every time you grow in a spiritual way, another challenge will come. But if you understand it as an opportunity to see, okay, I will give you a little example. We have pigeons here on the roof, no, on the other side, and they do poopies on the stairs. In the beginning, I would become so upset about them. This morning there was a poopy again. I said, okay, fine. You are giving me a chance to check myself, and I was finished with it. You see, grow is a small example, but it is for everything. Everything, as long as I don't, polish myself, transform that thing. And that is where my relationship with the Supreme Soul is most important, because the impressions in the soul are so deep in the subconscious mind that you cannot transform it on your own without that power. And by having knowledge about time, you understand that this is the time for winding up. It's a time to go home. So let me be happy to settle all my things. Ask everyone for forgiveness. Let me forgive myself. That is where I take the strength from. Otherwise, our life will be only why this thing is happening, why this one is doing this thing. Without spiritual knowledge, there is no understanding. That is why spiritual knowledge is so important. But once again, it also, the key opens our inner eye also, not only the door for truth there within, but also our inner eye. That means our intellect becomes divine. So then alone we can understand spirituality and see things from another perspective. Otherwise, we are limited and we say, oh, why this thing is happening with me? Yes, but what was my karma? Now the result of my karma is coming to me to put it right. That is the beauty, to put it right. Not to punish me, not to be uncomfortable, no, to put it right. And once I have that understanding, it is like drawing strength, right? Because then you will not shake anymore. So, was it a little bit clear?
Yes, it was. Thank you so much for your explanation. It helped me. And
And
yeah,
thank you for your question.
you're welcome.
Sister Rota, I just thank you this evening for sharing all your beautiful knowledge with us. I feel very grateful and blessed, and I plan to put more effort into my daily practices. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Om Shanti Rotaben. Welcome
Om
home from
Shanti.
Madhuban and
Om
welcome to
Shanti, dear Nandi Ben.
just to say thank you. Much thanks and appreciation. We have taken so much benefit from listening to you this evening. Baba's plan, God's plan. Thank you again from the heart. And we hope to see you more in Guyana too again. Thank God for technology. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, Sister Rota, Sister Sylvie from Guyana.
Om
What
Shanti, my dear sister Sylvie.
so nice to see you, having you here with us in Guyana, doing such a wonderful job. We're so happy to have you, and you made that topic so clear, what Baba was saying to us. You help us to understand and to work through all our limitations and become what Baba wants us to become. That self-respect. Thank you so much. Thank you. And see you more often. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, dear sister Sylvie.
Thank you.
Good night to everyone. Sister Rota, good night and thank you and welcome. We
Om
enjoy your
Shanti, my dear sister Ahelia.
night.
Sister
Enjoy.
Ahelia is my special sister. No one can own her in the way I own her.
Baba make us all special.
Yeah.
He make us all special and we maintain that and special with each other. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Amelia.
I see Sister Brenda was there. And she left. Okay.
Is there anyone else? Or if not, Sister Rota will end us with a closing commentary. Connecting to the One Father, open up that key within our intellect, that true self-respect from
Yes.
within each and every one of us. Thank you.
Just sit totally relaxed. And allow our mind, intellect, and heart to move away from the physical dimension. Once we are in our highest form of self-respect, in simple words, being so conscious, we become the master of our mind, our intellect, and those two abilities within myself are connecting me with my highest incorporeal supreme parent. Dimension that we cannot reach in a physical way, but with the power of our mind and divine intellect based on the awareness of who we truly are, we can make that connection. God, our Supreme Parent, cannot connect with matter. So if when I say and I identify myself with matter, God's energy cannot reach me. But when I open myself for this highest truth about myself, then the real me is the soul, the spiritual being within this body. At such a moment, the soul, I am on one level with God's energy. His love and His power, His purity, His peace can reach me and activate my purity, love, peace, and everything that is there inside. As long as we as souls don't experience God's love, it is like a child that is deprived from the sustenance of the mother. God is also our mother. You can even speak to God in that way with the word she. She is my mother. And that law of the mother, God as the mother, sustains the soul. In such a way that it can have all the power needed to transform itself. God is not only our Father, but also our Mother. And those experiences creates within the self the safety, the trust, the guidance, everything that we need to reach our highest goal. God's vision for each and every child is such that He only sees our highest potential. Although He knows our journey, but His focus is on our reality, eternal reality. And this relationship, it is not just connection, but it is a relationship. Creates within the soul this beautiful feeling of belonging, being worthy, being valued. And these are the qualities in the relationship with God that each and every one needs the most. So it doesn't matter how someone's behavior may be, God knows this reality, and we have to learn to look at ourselves and others with God's eyes so that we can be constantly in that powerful state of the highest form of self-respect, and that is to be God's eternal child and His eternal helper. Om.
Om Shanti, everyone. Thank you all. And thank you, Sister Rota, for those inspiring word of wisdom. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Sister Rota. Thank you very, very much, Sister Rota. You're at battle.
Thanks to our great Father who makes it possible.